Welcome everybody to Beat the Shift Baseball. This is episode 118 for Tuesday, August 31st. I'm Alex Uy, and I'm here today with Ray Estrada. We got a great show ahead for you guys. We're going to talk all about the Mets' disaster situation. Not just the record and everything, but Javier Baez decided to have some fun and explicitly tell his fans, the Mets fans, that they're booing him. So maybe it'll work out, maybe it won't. We'll talk about it. And some other weird stuff that happened in the last week. The Yankees are actually winning. They won 13 in a row. And the Dodgers and Padres engaged in quite the marathon game. So yeah, before we dive into all that, I just want to remind you that you should follow us at BeatTheShiftBP on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to let us know what you think about the topics that we talk about. Suggest anything to us. Voice your opinions. Or just say hi. At BeatTheShiftBP. All right, let's do it now, shall we? Ray, how you doing?
Good. The Dodgers finally won on the day the Giants lost.
Yay! I think. I don't know, dude. I'm
Yay.
enjoying the tight race that is going on out there in the West. You're probably not enjoying it as much as
There
I
needs
am.
to be some back and forth. There needs to be some movement.
No, I'm
St-
okay with the Dodgers firmly staying behind the Giants. It's okay with me.
I'm okay with the Yankees staying firmly behind the Rays.
I'm okay with that too. I've accepted it. The fact that we've made it here is just great. Considering how
Yeah.
earlier in the season things were looking like this, I'll take this any day.
Yeah.
Um,
Andrew Heaney got rocked by his former team tonight. We're all good.
yeah, we're actually gonna catch an Angels game this week.
Yes.
I have not been to a baseball game since we went in Denver. So that,
Yeah.
but before that, it was quite a while. I haven't been to an Angels
In
game in a long time.
California, you have not been to a baseball game.
Yes, good distinction. Yeah, let's start with the big news that kind of just dropped itself right in our laps. Yesterday, um, basically all the news from everything just dropped at once when Javier Baez maybe had the most self-destructive uh, press briefing since the Mariners' former president, like basically straight up told the media in his statement that the thumbs down celebration that the Mets have been doing as of late in the little success that they do find is directed towards the fans for booing them. It's he said straight up like this is our way to get back at the fans for booing us. And even more explicitly said that if you boo us when we don't have success, then we will boo you when we have success. So if that doesn't clear it up for you, there's no misinterpreting that. That is straight up war with the fans. And as you'd imagine, the manager was like, I didn't know about this. Sandy Alderson, like everybody else in the Mets organization, is like, okay, we're bringing him in to the principal's office to have a serious discussion with their parents because that's just not okay. And probably a lot of the players even are like, okay, this is stupid, but you guys do whatever you want. So where do we start? Let's go ahead and start with just a philosophical question. Is it fair to boo your own players as fans? And the second part to the question will be a lot more obvious, I'd hope, is it okay for the players to boo their fans? Just philosophically.
To answer the first question, I fans can do what they want. Um, I'm not going to tell anybody not to boo. I personally don't boo myself. I certainly don't boo when people enter a game or just like when stuff is happening during a game.
Only when
Like I was
pickoffs
at
happen. That's the only acceptable time to
oh
boo.
yeah, or when the Astros are playing.
Oh yeah.
Um, but like I was at I mean, Dodgers fans have had this conversation around Kenley Jansen, but he gets booed when he comes in, which is dumb. It's like, okay, no, he
Wow.
makes games scary sometimes, but it's like he came into a 4-run game against the Astros at a game that I was at, and make smattering of boos and stuff, and all my friends are like, oh, he's gonna blow it. He's gonna blow it. He gave a 2-run homer or whatever, and he's like, oh, he's gonna blow it. He's gonna blow it. I'm like, least have some type of confidence in the guys. So I don't like not having confidence in your players. That's just not being a good fan, not being invested. You gotta, maybe it's just having played in sports. You gotta buy into your own guys. Um, yeah, I don't like the concept of booing your own fans personally for me, but I'm not gonna stop anyone from doing it. And I think
Wait, booing your own
if
players or booing your own fans?
booing your own players, sorry,
Yeah.
I'm way more on board with booing your own fans, especially if they're being assholes. But um, yeah, is it smart to tell the fans you're doing that? No.
You're not gonna
Don't
win. You're not gonna win a war
yeah,
with them.
no, you're not gonna win a PR battle with that. The sentiment is fine. Use it for motivation. The fact that our own guys aren't behind us, so I guess we're gonna don't be on that. But it's yeah, no, it's not the best to bring that publicly. But it's coming from somebody Javi Baez, who maybe not the best player to be the face of the guy trying to throw success back in at a booming fan base, especially like was it the night or two after he missed a pitch by a full like 6 feet.
Yeah, it went viral.
Yeah,
The man was viral on the internet, beyond baseball spheres, for whiffing on a ball so poorly that 2 days later he decides, you know what, I'm gonna throw some shade. Like,
yeah.
it's so bold and stupid.
I saw a thing. It was, I forget from what time frame it was. I don't know if it's this year or something, but Javi Baez 200 like 20 something strikeouts and 24 walks.
Yeah, he's not the Javier Baez of 2018 or really any of that previous
I don't think the Javier Baez of
dominance.
2018 is the base Javier Baez.
No, not quite. But okay, wait. One thing that just latched to me for some reason was Dodgers fans are booing Kenley Jansen before he pitches. That's wild. I
Yes.
can't think of any non sex offender or non steroid user A Rod jerkwad who gets booed before he even goes out there and does anything. Like, I
Yeah. No.
all the time happens
Because
after a
of
poor performance, but
yeah,
before he goes out there?
because he's had some struggles this past few years, and because relievers aren't perfect. I guess.
That's
Yeah,
crazy. That's
it's weird.
crazy. I'm interested to see if there's anybody else in the league who gets booed by
Well,
their own
that's why
team or by their own fans
I look at
before they go
what
in.
Aroldis Chapman does. I like what Aroldis Chapman does. Watering the mound with the sweat, and like, do Yankee fans have as much hatred for Aroldis Chapman putting them through all this like just like anxiety in these last innings as Dodgers fans do with Kenley Jansen? Like, as soon as anybody gets on, I see on Twitter people are going nuts like, oh, here we go again. It's like dude got a weak hit the other way.
Yeah.
Like, as I think last year, let me stop this tangent. I think last year Kenley Jansen led the league and he had the best like hard hit against rate in the league.
It's like the most
Like, he was just
soft
incredibly
contact.
unlucky with like
Yeah.
what he was giving up. Yeah,
Well, fans do be stupid. I'll give you that. Which I guess leads to the second part of the question is, what do you gain from booing your own fans? Like, you kind of mentioned maybe it'll fire the team up to perform better, but no, I think you're using that wrong. I think it's more like we
I don't think
gotta
you
we gotta
state it
stop.
like they did.
No, and also I think the motivation is more like we gotta play better so we don't get booed because we're just sucking wind and this team is and our fans are not happy with us. So
But I
if you
think
don't like it, suck it up and play better. Really.
yeah, but I think it's one thing because you see, you know, I don't like fans who boo or like talk trash and say like, oh, they're not trying. It's like, what do you mean they're not trying? They know they suck.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Well, it okay. Yeah. Let me just make it clear. I don't think booing is a productive exercise in either direction. Yeah. Of course, unless there's a pickoff, in which case you just have to erupt in boos. It's
yeah,
just it's just part of the culture, really. Like, just The pitchers would probably be confused if there was no booing after they threw over to a base. They would not know what to do next. Um,
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know how that one became a thing, but in any case, I don't think it's a
It's just a
constructive.
bunch of Rob Manfreds placed around the stadium booing for pace of play.
Yep, pretty much. It's yeah, it's not productive, but also like if it gets to you in situations where you know that like the booing is uncalled for, then that's kind of dumb. Like if you lose a game and you're getting booed, like, or if you have a terrible outing or whatever, and you know why you're getting booed, yeah, you're more concerned with how poorly you did than the boos themselves, right? It's just kind of noise. It's just kind
Yeah.
of there, and you don't really. I think it's just kind of accepted that you don't take it personally if somebody boos you at a baseball game or like in a sporting environment. Um, you'd think that's one of the first things that gets bred out of you as a competitor is to tune out everything that's going on around you. I mean, the results will be the results. If you're getting booed, it's probably because you're sucking, and that'll get in your head. That'll ruin your mental. But I don't know. The booing really is like if you're surprised by the boos and you're the Mets, then that's your problem because you should not be surprised based on how the season is going
Yeah.
for you. So Javi,
Yeah. This is one of those situations where everybody is wrong.
everybody's wrong. Like Mets fans have a almost league wide known history of suffering, right? And it's not from anything in particular. It's just the consistency of bad stuff happening to the Mets and the fans just having to endure it. Uh, so, you combine that with just kind of the generic perception of New Yorkers in general and how short tempered they can tend to be, I'll say. Um, it's just expected at this point. So, Mets
Yeah.
fans, maybe don't boo the team if you want them to do well, but also Mets maybe don't attack your fans when they're booing you because really like you're not going to get anybody
Yeah.
out there. And that's part of it too, is like, who is this for? Who's this message for? Who's going to resonate with this? You think there's other players around the league and it's like, you know what, yeah, screw those fans, they shouldn't be booing us when we suck. Like, good job, Javi. You're speaking for us. Like, nobody else is out there saying that, and it's certainly not fans of other teams or just like other people in general. Like, you're putting out a very heavy message to absolutely nobody who's even ready to listen or anybody who will resonate with the message. So it's certainly foolish. is
Yeah.
the nice
I
word that
think
I'll
I think
leave
the
it on.
answer all just goes straight Jimmy Rollins. Jimmy Rollins had a home run when he was still on the Phillies, and they were playing the Marlins. So I know he wasn't yelling at a Marlins fan in Philadelphia because Marlins fans don't exist. He cranks a home run, turns to the stands, and yells "F you" at
Yeah,
somebody
or
or nobody in particular.
a little more recent history, just a classic Ian Kinsler, right? Where he
Oh
flips
yeah,
off the stands after, but like even after the fact, he was smart and said, even though it was very obviously like what he was doing, he was just like flipping off all the fans for roasting him for being in like an 0 for 20 bender or whatever, and he was like, nah, man, I was just celebrating with my team. I would never, attack the fans. Which, even if you're lying, just say it. Just say that. Like, it's not that hard to say, yeah, nope, wasn't going after the fans because that would be stupid of me. That's one easy way to get booed for the rest of my time here. So I'm not gonna do that. Ian Kinsler went about it a little smarter than I'm talking about the guy that straight up flipped off the stands after hitting a homer and going back to the dugout in his home park, and he's still smarter than Javier Baez and the Mets. So if that doesn't tell you where we stand on it, then I don't know. That's all we're gonna say about it anyway. All right.
Also the team president or owner, whoever made that statement, basically encouraging the fans to boo is not smart either.
Yeah, that's overcorrecting.
Yeah.
Like the Mets PR team right now is probably going through it in the worst way. Oh man, I don't envy them. All right, well, the Mets are not in playoff contention, so I'm kind of
No.
done talking about them. They've pretty cleanly fallen out of it by this point. We can revisit in the off season if we like. Let's shift gears to the AL East for some of the other big news that's happened the last week. The Yankees have been playing well. That makes me happy. I mentioned this to you as well. They're kind of in a similar situation to the. It's not even similar to anybody really. It's just they're behind the Rays by a good few games, and the Rays are just tearing it up in their own right. They can't seem to make up any ground there. So at this point, I'm just happy that the Yankees made it to where they are after the abysmal early season struggles that they went through, and their own New York fan base. Uh, I don't know, straight up flaming them, and we're already contemplating. All right, who can we trade? Who are we getting back? Who? How are we doing this?
Aaron Boone
Let's get
was
into tank.
fired.
Yeah,
Cashman was
air.
fired.
Yeah, everybody was fired. It was tank mode season. Like, who are we getting back in return? We need some prospects. We're toast. We got nothing for the next 2 years. Aaron Judge is washed. I don't know. Whatever else. I don't think that last one made sense. I think people were ready to trade Aaron Judge, which is even crazier.
Yeah,
Um,
because he was probably the only guy who had value on that early season Yankees team.
yeah, but here we are. A few games later, a month and a half of solid baseball later, they are a totally different team. And it's not only been, it hasn't even really been much of their big midseason acquisitions with Gallo, who does make the team better. Every day he's in the lineup, it's just a better lineup, no doubt. Anthony Rizzo missed a lot of time with COVID, and when he has been in the lineup, hasn't made a huge impact as of yet, really. Um, but it's just been guys revitalized. Like Luke Voigt came back and was absolutely killing the ball. Their bullpen has been fantastic, from top to bottom, and that's the kind of stuff that'll win you games. Garrett Cole seems to be over all the drama that has aired around him earlier in the season. He's just going out and taking care of business, and they're they're getting some energy from some of their lower lineup, not impact players, but it's a situation where you really feel the difference with guys like Velasquez, who they called up at shortstop, and Tyler Wade, who's been hitting very well. You add some speed, you just add some dynamic baseball into the mix, and it just makes everything else easier, really. Um, so yeah, that's if you're wondering what changed so fast for the Yankees, it wasn't even that they went out there and brought in two huge lefty bats. It's kind of just everything else that has fallen into place a bit better, and just really trusting the process and trusting that the guys would figure out how to start putting up some production in there. So they are a ways to go from being secure by any means. They lead the wild card race right now by a game and change. They're only one win advantage over the Red Sox right now, who have kind of bounced back in their own right. But you still have Oakland, who's chasing down in the West. You have the Mariners, who are still right there with them, and That's about it. The Blue Jays are 69 and 61. Nice. But they have a lot more work to do, it seems. So I don't really know what to make of that race, other than the Yankees really just kind of have to keep the pace up and hope they get is some more healthy pieces back. They got Kluber back today. They'll hopefully get Luis Severino back before the end of the season. So they really just have to not play terrible and
They have to be
maintain
in a
their
playoff
stride.
spot.
They do. And I don't think the expectation is even that they can catch the Rays, because the Rays are also doing that. They are in full stride right now. They can't seem to lose. Wander Franco is the longest uh, on base streak of anybody at his age. He's 20 years old. Kid's 20 years old.
Yeah, 20 younger.
Yeah.
Second all time, I think. Longest in the AL. Frank Robinson has like some crazy 43 games.
Yep. Yep. But the only other players who have had equally long on base streaks I saw at that age were are all Hall of Famers now. So I you can write him in now is what I'm hearing. But he really turned it around, and the Rays as a whole just play tremendous defense. By the way, like I don't know, you kind of forget about it when it's not playoff season, and then in the playoffs you see them make some spectacular plays. They really are just so crazy athletic, especially Nelson Cruz roaming around first base these days in their interleague play. Nah, but like for real, it's they they win in very different ways. Their bullpen is just lights out. There's no Tyler Glass now even anymore. They don't have the one guy that just takes over for them. Um, it's just team baseball, and they don't lose. They just never lose. It's very reminiscent, or it's very similar to how the Giants do it right now, except the Rays are just a collection of young guys, and the Giants are a collection of not as young
Old
guys.
guys.
Yeah. So props to the Rays. I also want to touch on the fact that the Blue Jays. I know I haven't let you talk in a little bit. The Blue Jays very well might have the second and third place finishers in MVP voting, and will likely miss the playoffs. If you really
And
believe that Marcus Simeon
I mean,
has warranted
so
it,
the top three MVP finishers, yeah, will probably all miss the
they
playoffs.
will all, yeah, because Otani is winning it. He's won it already. He's like there's nothing in my mind. There's nothing he can do in the next month that could reverse anybody's decision about the kind of season he's had. So he's won
Yeah,
it, and the Angels are firmly out of it. And then the Blue Jays, yeah, Vladimir Guerrero
yeah.
Jr. is probably closing up second place there, and then Marcus Simeon has just been fantastic as well.
I think Fox Sports posted a side by side of Tatis and Otani and their ranks in each league, like MVP frontrunners. What don't these guys have? And then somebody's like a playoff spot
You know what?
because at that moment the Padres were. I mean, they're still not in, but I think they're a half game now out of a
If if
second
anybody
wild card.
if anybody so much as dares not vote for Otani for that reason, or for that matter, the Blue Jays guys
Oh,
for
that'd
that
be.
reason.
I'll tell you, A Rod won't. A Rod,
Hey,
what was it? 2019, when uh, delusional Yankee fans and people who just hate Mike Trout decided that Mike Trout is not an MVP, even though he's having a career year and a Hall of Fame career already. And A Rod's was like, yeah, no. DJ LeMahieu's brought his team to the playoff spot despite all the injuries and all that. And it's like, okay, first of all, Mike Trout had a teammate that died that year, so stop talking about injuries. And that's also a wild case that's happening right now with Skaggs stuff. And also, it doesn't matter how his team is doing. Mike Trout is having an unbelievable season.
yeah, he's just the best player. Like, there's no doubt. I wish he would play some baseball this year. Is all I'm saying. Uh,
I hope he doesn't.
well, okay, for if it's for the sake of him being able to play more baseball next year, then
Yes.
sure. But
Yes.
the fact that the Angels talked about the All-Star break as a likely return
And we're
timetable,
finding out like in the last week that it's actually probably a
yeah.
decent calf tear.
Well, what like he's mostly healed now. Apparently, he's run aggressively is the most
Yeah.
recent report. But the timeline was just so off. Like, well, what would you even get our hopes up for? The team's not even good. What does it matter? So at least we have Otani. Interesting teams with really good players, really dynamic MVP caliber players that just won't make the playoffs. So that isn't the formula, guys. You don't need an MVP to make the playoffs unless you're the Dodgers and you just want to stockpile all of them just in case. That can't
Yeah.
hurt either.
Including one future MVP.
Only one?
Or two. Yeah.
At least one. At the very least, Trey Turner.
And then Corey Seager. But they gotta resign him, so
I'm pretty sure Corey Seager is going to be the best Yankee shortstop of all time. Derek Jeter, who? Hot take? I don't know. Maybe.
I mean probably just as good defense, but
Dude, Corey Seager's can probably be a better offensive, can have a better offensive prime than Derek Jeter. Can he do it for as long? Probably not. Nobody can do it
oh
that long.
Corey Seager would eat that short porch alive.
Yeah, Corey Seager. Yeah, now I'm getting more excited. Thanks.
He's a
Um,
doubles machine.
it's true. It's true. How did we get here? I don't really know. The Red Sox have
MVP is
news.
missing the playoffs.
Oh, MVP's missing the playoffs, right? Yeah, the Red Sox got a Cy Young Award winner back pretty recently. That's kind of cool.
Yes.
Chris Sale threw an immaculate inning.
No, wait. He
This,
hasn't won a Cy Young.
has Chris Sale not won a Cy Young Award?
No, he's never won a Cy Young.
What a scrub. Get him out of here. He is absolutely a Cy Young caliber pitcher. The year he got injured, he was going
Yeah,
to
that
win it.
that was the year that he was probably gonna win it. He always had like very mediocre second halves with the White Sox.
Yeah, I don't know. But third immaculate inning of his career the other day.
Tied for most all time with Sandy Koufax.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. He is one heck of a lefty. You know, Gavin Weir is gonna have big shoes to fill by the time he gets older and people start remembering the Chris Sale comparisons. And he's like, now I got to throw a third immaculate inning. Well, I don't think Chris Sale has ever uh, thrown 6 no hitters in 7 or in 8 in the span of 8 starts and struck out 114 to 1 hit. So who's got the upper hand here? I don't really know.
Yeah, we'll see.
Remains to be seen. If you don't know who we're talking about the South Dakota Little League World Series phenom, straight up phenom. Sometimes that word gets thrown around the Little League World
No,
Series.
yeah.
This kid, like, I don't know, I honestly cannot think of a more dominant performance in any athletic competition ever.
Along like, well, I'm thinking just Little League World Series. Like we've seen kids be really good.
Oh, by
but
no chance, nothing even close in the Little League World Series.
but nobody with the actual stuff and numbers of like pure dominance.
I'm not even talking about just the Little League. I'm not even talking about just baseball. I'm talking about any like.
Yeah, I know.
Is there an equivalent level of dominance in anything? Like you can like Michael Phelps and all his gold medals. Yeah, obviously the stage is much bigger, the stakes are much higher, but like just it's he just absolutely destroyed everybody. One hit that was not even it wasn't even in the Blue League World Series against presumably the best opponents. He like nobody hit him, and he struck out everybody. So I don't know. I can't think of anything comparable. Maybe I just haven't done enough research. But in terms of just complete massacres of other baseball teams, that's about as good as it gets. And he, of course, didn't get to pitch after his last no hitter in what was it, like the semifinals of it wasn't even the semifinal game. Anyway, he wasn't able to pitch anymore in the tournament, and his team got knocked out. So happy ever after for that whole thing. And then I don't even know with the rest of the Little League World Series how invested people were, other than the fact that it was Michigan beating Ohio, which just got a lot of college football enthusiasts just rife with enthusiasm about that. But nothing quite as impressive as the South Dakota stud. I don't know. Did you have any other takeaways from the Lily World Series that you wanted to throw in there too? Oh, his internet might have dropped out unless you're still here. Hello? Okay, I think we are having technical issues. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue talking for a little bit longer. We're actually
I
very
I
close to ending. Hello?
can, I can kind of hear you now.
Oh, he's
I
Robody.
know you're going in and out right now for me.
He's Robody. Are you back?
Can you hear me at all?
I can hear you now. You're back now. If you hear me, you're back. All right. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the whole
I
like
can. Okay, yeah.
division check-in. Well, we might need to close this thing up quickly. I did want to mention though, when we were talking about the ALE stuff, that the Orioles, God bless them, were eliminated from the playoffs already, well before September. This was a few days ago, and they are still just impressively bad. They are 40-90 currently, and they're just chilling. They got really good young players on the horizon, and they are totally okay commanding this tank in an already way too competitive AL East division. So, congrats Orioles for getting that one out of the way early, I guess. And I also wanted to bring up, oh yeah, the Dodgers and Padres last week played an absolute marathon of a game in a season where I don't know if you noticed, there is a runner on second base in every inning of extra innings to start the inning. So the fact that they were not able to scratch across runs for a good majority of that until the 15th inning, where Fernando Tatis decided to go ahead and tie the game up, that was a pretty embarrassing performance by both teams. The Padres
Yeah.
got no hit in over 9 innings in the middle of that game. So
Yeah. The Dodgers
not
had
great.
2 hits with a runner in scoring position that didn't score a run.
Well, they did end up
Nice.
winning the game. I should mention that as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So at least the Dodgers came out on top after all of that crazy ordeal. Um, and yeah,
They
I don't.
they ended up sweeping the Padres as well.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good for them. The Padres just have really not had a good time lately. We'll see if they can hang on to their playoff
No.
spot. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably not gonna happen very often if we got runner on second rule moving forward. It honestly doesn't happen all that often without that rule in
No,
place.
that's why the runner second rule is stupid because it like how, how often does a 15, 16 game happen? Why are we trying to guard against it?
It didn't work, clearly. Maybe that was the goal all along.
Bases loaded, 1 out. That's how it works now.
This did bring a question to my mind where I'm wondering if it's ever happened in Major League history where both teams have been no hit for 9 consecutive innings in the same game. There must have been games like
There
that.
has to have been dealing no hitters at some point.
Yeah. But yeah, I wonder like if you just sneak them into the middle of 15, 16 inning marathons, then they might go a little more unnoticed. You never know. Well, I think that's about all that we have to discuss today. There wasn't really too much weird stuff either to bring up. No odd mishaps or position players pitching. I don't know. Nothing like that this week. Just some weird main stories to talk about. So I say we go ahead and wrap it up,
So
unless you got something.
good old Reddit has our answer for like the longest both pitchers have held a no hitter.
Okay.
I don't know. If this is not for middle of the game, but on May 2nd, 1917, Fred Tony of the Reds and Hippo Vaughn of the Cubs each had a no hitter through 9 innings. Vaughn ended up giving up a run on 2 hits in the top of the 10th, and Tony went on to complete his no hitter.
Can you
Thank you, tacos or vegetables.
Can you say Tony's full name again?
Fred Tony.
Fred Tony, and the other one was
Hippo Vaughn.
Hippo. Yep. That's what I thought.
It was 1917 pitching matchup ever.
Jeez, man. I don't know. Old baseball is fascinating, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh man.
And also baseball Reddit already has a picture of Javi Baez doing thumbs down on the side of it.
Oh, of course. It's everywhere. You will not have heard the end of Javier Baez in the Mets Chronicles. I can all but guarantee that. But you probably have heard the end of us, at least on this day, because we are going to end. No, we're not going anywhere permanently. No. I just meant for today, most likely, unless you go back and listen to another one of our podcasts, which, you can. But we're wrapping up this episode, so I'll go ahead and remind you guys again at Beat the Shift BP, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you want to tell us what you would do if you were a fan and you were told that by a player, like, hey, I'm booing you. Maybe you'd have a different take than we would. Or maybe you just want to boo us. You can do that too. If you did stick around with us this long, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Make sure to leave a rating or a comment or whatever on whatever platform you're listening on. And we will be back next week for more. All right, that is it. Thank you, everybody, one last time. And as always, Ray.
Peace.